Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today on this beautiful Monday? Isaac says I'm late again. Of course, I'm late. I'm in a new studio, I'm in a new place. I'm still trying to figure everything out, so bear with me. But shout out to everyone who's hopping in the chat, dropping SDS if you're vibing with your boy because this is a temporary setup. We haven't you can see we don't got the decorations up. We're still trying to get it squared away. So bear with us. The studio setup is on its way. It literally just started moving stuff into here last night. So we still got some time, baby. We still got some time. I got some big plans. But I see the SDS in the chat. Let's go. The best group on YouTube, Facebook, across the entire interwebs. It's good to see the SDS checking in. No Jerry Rice jersey yet. I just gotta let that be known. No Jerry Rice jersey yet. Hopefully you guys still listen to me. We'll find out. But we see we got a lot of people hopping in here. It's a big day for 49er fans. It is a huge day for San Francisco 49er fans. And, you guys already know why, but you know what it is. We're a show, so we're going to talk about it. The reason why today is a massive day for San Francisco 49er fans is because John Lynch, the general manager, will be speaking to us today at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Why is that important? Why does that matter? It matters because Deebo Samuel could be on the move. I gotta get the beard right here. Let me say that one more time. Deebo Samuel could be on the move. How do we feel about that? Do we think that's going to happen? Do we think that's why we have a press conference coming our way? Or is it to potentially talk about the new jerseys that were released today? Um, we know why he's coming to talk to us. We know why John Lynch is coming to talk to the San Francisco faithful. It's going to be very interesting to see what is discussed. Um, but until then, which isn't too far away, uh, that's coming up pretty soon here. But if you guys didn't see, the San Francisco 49ers dropped some new jerseys, or not necessarily new jerseys, but they dropped some revisions to it. I really like what they did with it. I think it's clean. I like the way that they're kind of going back to their roots in a sense. Again, the saloon font, which is super, super popular with 49er fans, comes back. You can see it on the typically, I believe I don't even think they had 49ers there last time around. So they're able to add that back. They kind of also added a slight modification to the sleeves. Obviously, you see the 3D, um, essentially saloon font logo that's added to the back of the helmet. The big thing that changes here with the jersey, from my understanding, is you get the saloon font and you kind of go back to the old school three stripe on the shoulder. So these are the new jerseys that the 49ers have dropped. Again, going back to the roots. Not too upset about it. Not too upset about it at all. Drop a fire emoji in the chat if you're liking the new situation with the jersey. Drop that green faced like vomit guy if you don't like it. I want to see what the chat is feeling about the new kind of rendition to the arguably the most classic jerseys in the league. So I like what they did. I like that they kind of went back to the roots right away. You can see the chat is going up. Flames are going up. And it's appropriate that flames are going up because it is officially smoke season. You better get your smoke ventilators. Uh, you better get ready because we're going to hear more rumors. We're going to hear more smoke. It's posturing season. So everyone's trying to get certain leverage through the media. Again, very interesting that we're going to have John Lynch. We got our first dislike, but very interesting to hear from John Lynch today. So far, lots of flames in the chat. People are liking the new additions to the San Francisco 49ers jerseys. Again, we're a little biased here, but the cleanest jerseys in the NFL. You can't convince me otherwise. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Just make sure you don't buy a Deebo Samuel jersey. It's my only cautionary tale. If you go buy a jersey right now, just wait a second on buying that Deebo Samuel jersey. The reason why we are waiting to buy that Deebo Samuel jersey is because we got to figure out if that man's going to be on the team. I mean, my goodness, he is making his way out and or forcing his way out of the San Francisco 49ers in spectacular fashion, in a sense where, I've never seen this on the Niners. For me personally, since I've started covering the team, since I've started really paying attention to the San Francisco 49ers, what goes on in the offseason, all of it, just I've never seen this before. Now we understand that this stuff happens behind the scenes all the time in regards to players asking for trades, dysfunction, not seeing eye to eye, not liking usage, not liking where they want to be. But I'm not sure we have seen the dysfunction to this level. So as a result, your boy has been I've been working overtime. Basically, the smoke chasers are here. The smoke chasers are here for a reason, because as we talk about all the time, where there's smoke, there's fire. I believe, and we're going to start to kind of transition into kind of the Deebo Samuel discussion and topic and all that good stuff. But do you guys feel like ultimately Deebo Samuel will get traded? Drop a yes if you think he's going to get traded this week. Drop a no if you think this is all leverage. This is all contract talks. This is just a bunch of bull malarkey. It's just Deebo Samuel using any leverage he can get to get a new deal with the San Francisco 49ers. So far, right away, no, doesn't think he'll get traded. But King's Ransom says yes, he's gone. Yes. Trade Deebo for a pick along with Christian McCaffrey and Brian Burns. Hey, you mentioned Brian Burns. My ears are going to perk up real heavy. Rome says, Brad with the crystal clear video and great Wi-Fi. I told you I lived in a Wi-Fi hole. We have cut off all Wi-Fi from McDonald's. We are no longer pulling Wi-Fi from the Dollar Tree. It is a great time to be a content creator. You can see me. I'm not choppy like a robot. It's a great time. But back to the actual conversation at hand. It does appear that a Deebo Samuel trade is immensely imminent. Now, I see some people say yes. I see some people say no. And I understand why you would say yes or no either way. But the way I'm reading it, the way I'm tracking it, I cannot envision a scenario where Deebo Samuel returns, especially with the additional information that we've heard coming out about, Deebo didn't even want an offer. He said, don't even offer me. He said, don't even send me numbers. When that occurs, that's interesting. That's very interesting because it goes beyond money. It goes beyond that. And as we know, last year was a tumultuous year, regardless of getting to the NFC Championship for the San Francisco 49ers. We know it was difficult. We know the noise uh, would absolutely bombard the San Francisco 49ers, the locker room, the fans, the media, nonstop question after question. Um, it's going to be interesting. Ken Martin says Peter King of the Monday morning quarterback said that the 49ers are not letting Deebo go. Of course they're not. Why would they report that they are? Why would the 49ers come out again, smoke season? See this guy? See this? We're veteran smoke chasers. We are veteran smoke chasers. So, why would the San Francisco 49ers come out in any shape, way, or form and say that Deebo Samuel is available? Because if they did, that instantly drops the price. For right now, the leverage in regards to getting a haul for Deebo Samuel, what they have to do is position it to the rest of the NFL. The only way that you're going to get Deebo Samuel is if you give us an offer that we literally cannot refuse. Because guess what? Deebo Samuel is under contract. The 49ers can literally do nothing. They could literally look Deebo Samuel straight in the eyeballs and say, "We look forward to having you in 2022." They could literally say that. And just he could kick and he can scream and he could not show up to training camp. He could not show up to mandatory mini camp. He could do all that. He could sit out the entire season if he wanted to. But the San Francisco 49ers have the ability to say, we aren't trading you, regardless of what you want, because there's precedent involved here. If Deebo Samuel comes to the table and just says kicks and screams and gets his way and gets a trade and gets all this money from the 49ers, then you're kind of setting a precedent that, well, maybe the next guy coming up who needs a contract. Maybe Nick Bosa looks over his shoulder and says, well, if Deebo can force his way out, maybe I can quietly force my way out. Now, I don't think we would imagine that would actually occur. But again, it's par for the course. It's smoke season. The San Francisco 49ers are not going to utter the words. Maybe today they will. But up until this point, they will not talk about trading Deebo Samuel. I would imagine because John Lynch is talking today. He will be talking with the San Francisco 49ers. This is all of us until then. This is us. We're just waiting here. We're the Spidey Niner. We're just waiting. Just what is he going to say? What can happen? And it's going to be interesting. Does he say Deebo Samuel is up? We are willing to move Deebo Samuel. Does he come out and does he say that? I doubt it. If anything, I'm going to hear from John Lynch. Deebo Samuel is a 49er. He's under contract, and we have no plans of trading him. I would imagine if I was a betting man and I put my tinfoil hat on, John Lynch is going to come out and I don't believe he's going to indicate that Deebo Samuel's for sale. But we'll see. Because there's a lot of rumors floating around. There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of sources. There's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff floating around. Someone's asking what time. I'll pull that up in a second, but let's make sure. We got a bunch of people in here. Smash that like button if you're vibing with me. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Hit the bell up top to get notified whenever we go live, because we are going to go live after the press conference. We're going to have a live reaction to whatever John Lynch says. So make sure you're tuned in for that. Hit that sub button, bell, you know the vibes, and smash that like button like DJ said. This is the starting time for the presser today. I'd also just quickly, something serious happened today. Something serious happened. I would like to report a theft. My meme got stolen by George Kittle. Wow, George. He really did. He said I'm stealing it, and then look at this. Oh my goodness. I'm like that one meme where she's like on the phone all pissed off, like, I would like to speak to your manager, please. I would like to speak to your manager. Shout out George, man. George, quickly on George. George, Kittle, Mohamed Sanu, uh, they just had their I Am Athlete pod dropped over on I Am Athlete. Go check that out because they give a lot of really good insight. I tweeted this earlier, but I don't think I get more joy than like listening to George Kittle talk about football. Because when George Kittle talks about football, he talks about it from a purist standpoint. I believe George Kittle is a purist at his heart. He loves football. He was ingrained to be a football player from a young age. Again, his coach or his dad is a coach, former Iowa offensive lineman. Oh, we got a chat legend in here. We got a chat legend in here. Oh, look at Aponte. What's good? What's good? But anyway, George is a legend. Make sure you go tap in with him. Again, he just dropped the I Am Athlete podcast with Mohamed Sanu and Brandon Marshall. There we go. Mixing it up. Let me get out of this, though. Shout out, George. Let's see. Let's get back to it. Come on. All right. So, as we know, a lot of stuff has been going on. I know this video circulated heavily last, or was it yesterday? Again, looked like Deebo Samuel was at the club, a little bit of bottle service going on. And it appears that he wasn't having it. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It just looks like a situation that is continuing to get uglier and uglier regarding the Deebo Samuel situation. So we are going to figure out maybe today, maybe tomorrow, what the future holds for Deebo Samuel. So it's going to be interesting because obviously I posted this on Friday, but so much has changed, the back and forth and narratives, this being said, that being said. It's been crazy to watch. It's been crazy to observe. But it does feel like there is a situation and a storm brewing. I'm kind of the mindset right now that Deebo's gone. That's where my mind's at. To the point where I think he's already gone. I think the trade has probably happened and or close to happening. I think there is a last stitch effort potentially for other teams to submit final offers, things like that, where maybe they can get a little bit more. But it feels like Deebo's gone. It feels like Deebo is gone. It feels like there's no shot in hell that Deebo Samuel is coming back. Again, the San Francisco 49ers could absolutely look Deebo square in the face and just say, hey, listen, we're not trading you. You're a San Francisco 49er. You're under contract. Deal with it. We're going to continue to work towards getting you a deal. Like we said, according to Adam Schefter, they will pay him yesterday. They'll pay him today. They'll pay him tomorrow. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. So that's the way the 49ers could attack this. They could look at all the noise. They could look at all the posturing, and they could say, you know what, Deebo, we don't appreciate how you went about this. But at the end of the day, ultimately, you being on our team gives us the best chance of winning. Now, then they could take the approach of trying to smooth things out, trying to, get back on his good graces. Again, probably giving him a contract, not lowballing him, giving him some respect within the process would go a long way. I could have told you that from the beginning with Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel does not play games. Deebo Samuel has a very particular personality, at least from what I've seen. Again, I don't know the guy, but I've watched his maturation from before he was a 49er till now, and I could tell you he's probably not going to be one of those guys that plays that mess. So if there's anyone to come correct with into contract negotiations, it was Deebo Samuel. Now, did that happen? Did it not happen? We don't know, because from all the reports that we're hearing, Deebo didn't want an offer. Deebo said, I don't want an offer. He said, I'm done with you. So that becomes an interesting situation, because we've seen this before. Robbie Gould did this to the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if Jason's still in here, but Robbie Gould did this to the San Francisco 49ers. Robbie Gould said, get me out of here. He said, get me back to my family in Chicago. I don't want to be here anymore. And John Lynch, Parag Marate were like, it's not that easy, my boy. They said it's not easy. It's not that easy. I'd popped on the Candlestick Chronicles podcast for the first time the other day when I was packing some of my stuff. Kyle Madsen, I believe, Chris Biderman, who had the podcast. They had ESPN beat reporter, or a reporter who covers the San Francisco 49ers, Nick Wagner, on. And he said something about that particular deal that really stuck out to me. He said something about how basically the 49ers paid a tax to Robbie Gould to keep him away from his family. I was like, oh my God. Because as we know, Robbie Gould got the bag. I'm sure Jason could tell you. I could see him in here. Jason could tell you how much money Robbie Gould got. But the fact that Nick Wagner said it was a tax to keep him away from his family, because we know he got a big deal. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But anyways, back to the Deebo Samuel situation at hand. It just feels like a situation right now where the 49ers, Deebo Samuel are far apart. And when it gets to this point, what do you do? Do you hold a man hostage that clearly doesn't want to be a San Francisco 49er? Or do you turn a situation that is ugly into a situation where you turn out on top? And what does that mean? Well, we look at the entire situation, and we look at the Jets. We look at Panthers, Ravens, Chiefs. I would imagine every team in the NFL right now who has the cap space and has the draft picks want to get Deebo Samuel on their roster. So the 49ers have an opportunity. Do we keep a disgruntled employee, and do we keep him regardless of not wanting to be here? Or do we turn the situation into a net positive where, although, yes, you're losing Deebo Samuel, which is never a good thing, but you are recouping a haul for him, more than what Devontae Adams brought, more than what it took to get Tyreek Hill. We're talking like 2 first-rounders. And again, not only are we talking 2 first-rounders, but if you have the entire league bidding and going after Deebo Samuel, those offers are only going to keep going higher and higher, because that's how it works. We could sell Deebo to the highest bidder. So there is an opportunity that exists where the San Francisco 49ers come away with the 10th overall. They come away with 35 from the Jets. They come away with 69 from the Jets, and maybe a player There is a world that exists where the San Francisco 49ers completely fleece a team in a return for Deebo Samuel. So I know there's been a lot of back and forth about compensation. What is he worth? What's he going to get? In a vacuum, maybe a first rounder, but this isn't a vacuum. It's wide open, and you have teams competing, and you have teams who, again, I posed this question, and I posed this question to talk about it on the live today. Actually, let me see if I could get it pulled up, and I want to pose it to you, and then I want to have a further conversation about it. So hold on one second. Let me pull it up. Share screen. So the reason why I asked this question on Twitter is because how do we quantify Deebo Samuel's value? Okay, well, let me ask you just point blank, and I want you guys to answer in the chat. If you took 26-year-old superstar Deebo Samuel right now and you put him in this draft, like you had the opportunity to drop him into this pool of essentially this draft class, where would Deebo go? Would he go 2? Would he go 3? Would he go 10? Or would he go number 1 overall? Answer the question. Where is he going? If you were to place him in this draft with this current pool of talent and these prospects, but you get a 26-year-old superstar in Deebo Samuel, where is he going? Is he going above Aiden Hutchinson? Is he going above Sauce Gardner? Again, this guy's proven. He is proven, right? So I see a lot of top 3. I see top 5. I see number 1 overall. Because guess what? He's proven. He's done it before. So when you're looking at this entire prospect list right now, what do we talk about? Well, there's not a number 1. There's not a number like who's number 1 in this class? Who's number 1? I don't. Is it Hutchinson? Is it Thibodeau? Is it Kyle Hamilton? Is it Sauce Gardner? Is it Icky? Is it Neal? Who is it? No one knows. No one has a clear answer because there's no one that you could point to like a Deebo Samuel and say, we know what Deebo Samuel is in this league. We know what he's able to produce. We know he essentially created his own position. His own position. Oh my gosh. Sources say Deebo and Aponte for 410 and 38. Are we doing that deal? Are we sending Aponte to the Jets? Are we doing that? I don't know. But the point of what I'm trying to make is trying to set the value. Okay, let's compare him to the prospects. Let's compare him to the prospect class. It's not a crazy top heavy class. So I would imagine if you're in the top 10 right now, and maybe you say you have a need at wide receiver, maybe, but there is an opportunity for you to get a proven commodity in Deebo Samuel, who has taken over the league. You turn on any NFL network segment about draft prospects and the wide receivers, it's literally called Finding Deebo because they're trying to find this positionless utility tool that can do things as a wide receiver, but playing behind the line of scrimmage, all these different types of things. So that being said, why isn't he worth more than just a top 10 pick? Why do people argue that he's not worth more than a top 10 pick? I believe he's worth more than one top 10 pick. I would argue he's worth more than 2 first rounders, including a top 10 pick, because again, he's proven. What do people say about the draft all the time? Oh, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. Look at Les Snead. What did Les Snead do? Oh, he doesn't have first round picks because he took those picks, turned them into players, and he just won a Super Bowl. Okay. So when we look at that, okay, now add the fact that teams are going to be bidding on Deebo. Now it's not in a vacuum, right? Again, we're just trying to assess value. Now add the economics to it. Now add the economics to the situation. You have multiple, if not the entire league, if not the entire league, trying to potentially get Deebo Samuel. What does that do? That means yesterday's price ain't today's price. So the 49ers, to move Deebo Samuel, they're going to need a freaking haul. A haul. And I don't think it's going to be anything less. And they're going to continue to say, we have no interest in moving Deebo. Why would we? He's Deebo Samuel. He's the guy that everyone's trying to find. So I won't be surprised. John Lynch comes up onto that podium and he says, why would we trade Deebo? Why would we do that? Like, everyone's trying to draft a guy to be Deebo right now. So why would we trade him for anything less than multiple first round picks? Why would we do that? And I guarantee you that's probably the conversations that they're having back to these other teams. Like, listen, guys, you can either get Deebo, 26 years old, who's proven to be an elite athlete in this league, or just keep your pick. Keep your first rounder and go have fun. See if Garrett is going to be that for you. See if Olave is going to be that for you. See if Treylon Burks is going to be that for you. See if Sky Moore is going to be that for you. Good luck. Have fun. Hopefully it works out for you. Hopefully, hey, Jets, remember when you took Denzel Mims? Hopefully that works out for you. Oh, you guys took Elijah Moore. He has traits and similarities to Deebo Samuel, but he's not Deebo Samuel. So again, when we're trying to assess value, there's no way, in my opinion, that Deebo doesn't go for 2 firsts or a first and a high second plus more. I see a potential here where the San Francisco 49ers could absolutely fleece someone. Absolutely fleece someone. And hey, we need more for Aponte too. Aponte carries a first alone. So we need multiple guys. We need multiple guys. So I mean, I don't know if this deal's going to do it that Jason proposed earlier. It kind of feels like he's selling himself short a little bit. Man, where is it? You guys are commenting like crazy. Shout out everyone in the chat. Chat's lit right now. Aponte said, source says Deebo and Aponte for 410 and 38. So Deebo, we need the 4 and 10 for Deebo. 38 for Aponte? That's not going to work. We need more. Hey, yesterday's price ain't today's price, baby. First of all, Aponte's not for sale. I would like to say that. Now, Aponte has quietly came, behind the scenes and has requested a trade. And he says, you know what? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Let me go cover the Detroit Lions or something. Like, send me to the Jags. Like, I'll go to what are we doing here? Aponte quietly is exhausted. But you know what? I'm gonna have to sit Aponte down. I'm gonna have to look him in the face and say, you know what, Aponte, you're too talented, my guy. You're too talented. And there's no amount of draft capital that could be given to me to make me give you up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're exhausted. I'm sorry if you don't want to be here anymore, Aponte. But nope. No sirree. You're staying. We ain't trading you. I'm trading Deebo before I trade Jason Aponte. Ken Martin says Deebo just tweeted something about Jamal Adams talking junk about him. I don't know who Jamal is. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Oh, he tweeted that yesterday. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that fake post. Um, I honestly didn't see him post it, which is why I didn't even touch it. And Debo straight up called that BS, but would have been funny if it wasn't. Um, so good thing my fake radar is on high alert. Good thing my fake radar is on high alert. So again, it's smoke season. It's a wild time. It's a wild time to be alive. It's a wild time to be alive. Right? Right? Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I just feel like I gotta pull more power from the beard. Pull more pull more ginger beard power because it's a wild time to be a San Francisco 49er fan. It is a wild, wild, wild time. We have the countdown. It's begun. Less than 50 minutes. Less than 50 minutes. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a wild, wild time to be alive, folks. So, what do we think? When it's all said and done, I already asked this question. I'm not going to ask it again. But to me, feels like Deebo Samuel is on his way out. It does. It does. For me. And I felt that for a long time. I felt that instantly um, when the whole situation played out with the scrubbing. It's the writing's on the wall, literally. Deebo is probably not going to be a San Francisco 49er. Again, the 49ers could absolutely say, Deebo, we don't care. you can comment on all the posts. You could say all the things. At the end of the day, you're under contract, my boy. And they could say, you're not getting traded. Sorry. And we also have to understand too, Deebo has to accept a deal. It's not just the 49ers say, oh, we get this great haul, but if he goes to a team that gives him a contract offer of what, 20 million uh, a year, he's not going to sign it. He's going to hold out. He's going to pull Gronkowski. When Gronkowski got traded to the Detroit Lions. When Gronkowski got traded to the Detroit Lions, he told the Detroit Lions, I'm retiring. He told the Patriots, I'm retiring. Said, trade me. Go for it. But I'm retiring. So now I don't imagine Deebo would necessarily do all that. But he does have a say in, again, they got to get a deal hammered out. The deal's got to match what he wants, and the compensation has got to match what the 49ers need. So there's still two power plays at hand. But I want to ask you guys, and if you haven't, smash that like button already. Hit that sub if you haven't. Again, we're going to go live after the press conference today, and we will do a live reaction to everything that John Lynch talked about. So make sure you tapped in for that. But tell me right now, who's the best fit in regards to trade for Deebo Samuel for the 49ers? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who is the best fit for the San Francisco 49ers? Do you guys have any ideas? Any thoughts? I personally think, oh, we got some coming in here. We got Jets, Jets, Jets. Lots of Jets. Jets. Ooh. You give me the Panthers, boy. Again, like I said, you put me in a room with the Panthers GM. Brian Burns is on this team 100%. And not at a disadvantage to the 49ers. But hey, that's a conversation for a different story. Randy says whoever has the best package. Pause. Jesse says Jets, Carolina, Ravens or Jet. Amateur draft scout says send him to the worst team. He wants to do him like OBJ. Justin says I'll take 133 and a 23rd 2023 first. We got Jets. Hit that like button, Aponte. Ponte says change the offense and get Williams and become completely downfield. Oh boy, just stretching the field all day. Trey Lance starts. That's it. That would be wild. That would be wild. But looks like the Jets. And let's kind of expound on this a little bit further. For me, it's the Jets. You guys know how much I love the fit with the Panthers. Maybe there's an opportunity with the Panthers where you do send Jimmy and Deebo. Maybe John Lynch goes, well, and maybe the Panthers reach out and they're like, you know what, we really want Deebo. And we've already been talking to you about Jimmy. Well, let's do a package deal. Give me Deebo, give me Jimmy. We'll give you 6. We'll give you more picks. We'll give you Brian Burns. But in all honesty, I do believe the Jets are the best fit. And I think it's the best fit for everyone. I think it's one of those rare situations where it's a fit for everyone. You get Deebo Samuel into a top 10 market. Deebo gets the pay that he wants because the Jets have the money to do so. So he's able to get his contract. He's able to go to the number one market in the NFL where he can become even more popular. The Jets have the draft capital to not only give up to the 49ers, but they can give up enough where they still have a first and a second round pick. They can still do those things. The Jets can give up a lot of draft capital and still maneuver through the draft. They could trade back from 4. Let's say they give up 10, 38. Maybe they give up 10, 35, and 38 and 60, 69. Maybe they give up 4 picks and they give up both their seconds. But if they go from 4 to like 13, they could recoup multiple more draft picks. And they had already got Deebo Samuel. Like, I really think that the Jets are the best fit for the 49ers. I do. I think the Jets are the best fit. And I think the Jets, and we haven't even talked about the coaching. You look at Deebo Samuel, you look at Mike LaFleur, you look at Robert Saleh, both clearly coming from the San Francisco 49ers coaching staff. They know Deebo. They know exactly who he is. They would know how to utilize him. It's a perfect storm with the Jets. So what the San Francisco 49ers need is they need a team like the Ravens. They need a team like the Panthers to to believe, or the Lions, and give them a shot at believing they have a chance so that they could come back to the Jets and say, well, listen, we like the offer that you've given us, but hey, the Lions have given us 2, 33, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Can you match that? Can you do better than that? If not, we're gonna send Deebo to Detroit. So I think it's a good situation for the 49ers. I'm hoping ultimately that he lands with the Jets because I think it benefits everyone. Deebo gets his payday. The Jets get a dominant player and still have draft capital. The 49ers get an absolute haul in return to make the situation feel a little less dramatic. So it's interesting. Uh, it's I like the Jets. I like the fit. It's too perfect of a situation. Now, what the 49ers need to work on is pumping up the value, getting as much as possible for for Deebo, because Michael says Elijah Moore straight up for Deebo. This would be the the biggest trade fleece in the history of all time. Like the biggest. Like we if you were a part of this and you were on the 49ers side, you would not be able to show your face around this part of town. They would get laughed out the building. They'd probably get fired on the spot. Um, and again, this to me is a non-starter. Like you're not even like you're like that's disrespectful. I'm not even going to have a conversation with you about a trade anymore. Like, um, now if we're talking 410 and Elijah Mitchell, or I'm sorry, Elijah Moore, okay, there we go. Now we're talking. But Elijah Moore, who's a lesser player than Deebo, who's a second year player. You're probably if you hit accept on that, and I'm the owner, and like I have to find out that you accepted Deebo for Elijah Moore straight up, you're fired. You're like, pack your bags. Not only did we clearly not be able to sign Deebo, but what do you just traded him for? Get out of here, like Deebo is one of the most valuable players in the NFL right now. And the fact that he's available, there there are there aren't opportunities where players like this become available. Typically, homegrown players like this, like imagine a Justin Jefferson becoming available at 26 years old. It just doesn't happen. These types of players, these types of players like require more than even what you would think in a vacuum it should be, because they are such elite players. And these types of elite players do not become available in their prime. So as a result, you have to quantify the value in a vacuum, and then you add the economics to it. Then you get other teams bidding. The 49ers could come away. The hope is that they come away with a huge haul, because I don't anticipate the 49ers being able to like make Deebo happy. Um Deebo is doing everything he can to get away from the 49ers. Again, things that I've heard quietly behind the scenes, I've been told this goes much deeper than anything that's being portrayed in the media. Now, no one has said anything to me about what that actually is, but I mean, I would believe it as well. I can't imagine the things that Debo is being accused of from wanting to leave. Now, maybe location does become a potential uh, landing, or location becomes a factor, because he has to pay California state taxes. And if you live in California, not only is the cost of living higher, the amount of tax that you have to pay, state tax. Um, and I guarantee you, Debo's seen that. He's seen his rookie contracts when he gets his paycheck every week. He sees how much of that money goes to taxes, goes to the state of California. I, hey, if you're that about your money, if you're that about your money, uh, I think that's the main reason why. If location is a factor, I think that's the main reason. Not because it's too sunny out in California. Oh, the weather's too good out in Cali. Oh, it's oh no. The weather's too good. I like humid weather. Give me humidity. No, it's not that. If it's anything, it's a money situation. Like I don't want to pay those taxes because if you give me said deal and make it look good on paper, that is not even close to the money that I'm collecting just based on just based on taxes alone. So if there's a location issue to me, it's based on that. It's based on getting the highest dollar amount possible. Oh, we got a bet in the chat. Let's go. We got a bet in the chat. Jets gang bet me $50 we wouldn't get more than the top 10 pick for Deebo. That dude funny. I take Venmo and Cash App. Can I get on that bet? I would love to be on that bet because I'm about to lose another bet regarding the 49ers that I made with one of my followers on Instagram. So I need to recoup because I'm about to lose my bet that I made, which I said Jimmy Garoppolo will be traded before OTAs. Yeah, it looks like I might be wrong with that. I was dead set. I was adamant. Jimmy Garoppolo's getting traded. Jimmy Garoppolo's getting traded before OTAs. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Jimmy? Jimmy's getting traded before OTAs? You're crazy. Literally, my thought process. I said, you're crazy. I said, it was a $50 bet. I said, easiest $50 I ever made. That was pre shoulder surgery. Now, clearly, we know what's happened since then. I lost. I lost that one. I don't think to be honest, I don't think Jimmy's getting moved before uh before OTAs. I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong because I also don't want to pay 50, but I also don't want to deal with its drama. Oh, but I'll hop on this one. Let me hop on this too. I got 50. Let's throw 50 on it. I need to make my money back. What a time to be a Niner fan. What a time. So ultimately for me, like I said, this is where I'm landing. This is where I'm landing. I anticipate today from John Lynch. We are going to hear about, some of the drama that's going on. I think what the main point, let's say we have a huddle meeting before this, we're getting all the department heads and we're trying to like figure out like, all right, how do we go about getting this messaging across? And we are almost 30 minutes away from John Lynch speaking to the media. But I would imagine they're going to sit together as a group and they're going to be like, all right, especially if a trade's on the way, they have to be doing this in a way where one, they're not burning Deebo because in no way, shape, or form are they going to want to do anything to his value. If anything, this messaging is going to try to, in my opinion, kind of prop up and get more value again, which is why I believe they are going to say we aren't going to trade him. I don't know if they're going to flat out say we're not going to trade him, but I would imagine they're going to say we don't have an intention to trade him. He's under contract. We don't have an intention to trade him. So again, the wording matters. You have to pay attention to definitive language. It's a science the way these guys talk. So if you hear definitive language like we are not trading Deebo Samuel, I would be like, "Oh, that's interesting." But if they come out and say we have no intention of trading Deebo Samuel, then we're like, "All right. I know what that means." I know I don't have an intention to go climb Mount Fiji today. That's a true statement. I have zero intention to go climb Mount Fiji today. I have zero intention to go, you name it. So the wording matters. So I imagine that's what's going to happen. Debo's under contract. They're going to talk him up. They're going to talk about why Debo's a special player. They're going to talk about why they don't want to trade him. And they're going to try to smooth this out a little bit. And it's hold on a sec. See, exactly. Here we go. This is from Mike Garofalo. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is from Mike Garofalo. Sure, the Jets would explore a Deebo Samuel trade if he was available, but the 49ers don't seem interested in making him available right now. As for number 4 overall, count me in on Sauce Gardner, Ike Ukwanu's speculation. This is exactly what we're talking about. The San Francisco 49ers are not going to say that they are trading Deebo Samuel. So I just want to make that crystal clear when we hear that John Lynch has no intention of trading Deebo Samuel, that you know what that means. Just so we're clear. I do not think John Lynch is coming out and going to be like, we are trading Deebo. That I think that would do a disservice to what they're trying to do. So again, you have Mike Garofalo. This was 14 minutes ago. He just said this. He posted a video. I'm interested to see what he actually said. But in the text of the tweet, he says, sure, the Jets would explore Deebo Samuel trade if he was available. But the 49ers don't seem interested in making him available right now. So put that tinfoil hat on, because this is it. This is the posturing. This is the last opportunity. I believe there are trades that have been submitted. I believe there are potentially trades that have been accepted. But yesterday's price ain't today's price. So that means if another team came with a better offer, then they're going to be like, hey, we got a better offer. And then the other team's going to come back and counter offer. I don't think so. If Deebo's getting traded, I think it's getting announced after the press conference, potentially Tuesday. But I think what today is going to be, like, hey, this is the salesman coming to the microphone to be like, we have no intention of trading Deebo. So again, if they say we have no intention, I'm like, it's on. The sale is on. If they use definitive language about trading Deebo and they say that we are not by any circumstances trading Deebo Samuel, then I'm going to be like, okay, well, that's interesting. That gives me a little bit more pause than if they were to say we have no intention. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting because as we're seeing it right now, it's a little warm up. It's a little warm up into the presser. Timing is everything. So, hey, there's a reason why we're hearing that, because guess what? He's going to come out and say the same thing. We're not trading Deebo. But it is important just to pay attention to how he says it and what that could mean. So, again, doesn't do the 49ers any service to come out and say that we're trading Deebo or Deebo's for sale, because that in of itself lowers the price. So we're going to find out. This is the most anticipated press conference we've had since last year during the draft season, when it was who are the 49ers going to take at 3. Crazy town. So what do you guys think is going to ultimately happen? interested. And again, make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit the bell if you haven't already. We are going to go live, do a live reaction. We're going to break down what John Lynch says at his press conference. We're going to pay attention to the language. We're going to pay attention to if he locks himself into a statement or if there's fluidity regarding the statement. So it's going to be, oh boy, it's going to be a spicy, spicy press conference today. Um, Gonna be crazy. Gonna be crazy. I would imagine they're streaming the presser. I don't know for a fact. I haven't looked that far into it. Um, I would imagine if they have it, you should go to 49ers YouTube page. If you go to the 49ers YouTube page, it should theoretically have a placeholder, but they don't. So I don't see it. So, but we've also seen them make a slight change to how they stream press conferences. Because if you guys remember, after the mishap with Charvarius Ward, they have not been streaming press conferences. If you remember, because ever since that situation happened, where Charvarius Ward made that comment about the questions that he was being asked, the 49ers haven't live streamed a press conference since then. How they've been doing it is they obviously have the reporters there and they report on what's being said. And then after the press conference happens, they drop the press conference. So it's going to be very interesting if they keep that same pace. Again, because of some of the blowback that happened from the Charvarius Ward presser, or if they live stream it. But like I said, if you go into their YouTube right now, I'm not seeing anything that would indicate that they're live streaming it, because they would have a placeholder where you could jump into the chat and wait for it. So I don't know. Oh, is there one and I'm just not seeing it? Maybe they blocked me from. Let me see. I don't see it, but if you guys see it, let me know. Is it there? Okay, good. I want to make sure that I see it too. But good. Okay, it's there. Perfect. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it's there because this is a big one. This is a big one. So we are going to be waiting to see what is said. We're going to be waiting on every word from John Lynch. We are going to be waiting. So perfect. I'm glad some of you guys see it. I can see some don't. I can see some do. So just keep refreshing. Um, and it should pop up. But they typically, when they are streaming, they do stream to Twitter and they do stream to Facebook. So maybe if you're having issues with YouTube, you can potentially go over there to find it if you're having problems already. Um, but yeah, so like for mine, for example, I don't see the stream when I go to their page. So there are multiple ways to find it. Just keep an eye out for it. Let me see my notifications if there's anything that came across. Yeah, so I'm not seeing it, but I do see that you guys are seeing it, so that's good. So it should be on YouTube, but we'll find out if it's going to go across other platforms as well, like Facebook and Twitter. Oh, yep. So I just saw it as well. There it is. All right. So maybe to make it easier for everyone involved, I'm gonna drop a link. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat so you guys can hop in. I know some people aren't seeing it. I know I actually had to switch accounts to be able to see it come across. It doesn't feel like it's on their page, but again, it's right here. Here's the stream. So it is available. Um, Here's the link. So I just dropped the link if you're having a hard time finding it, but it's there. And we're 20 minutes away. Oh boy. Oh boy. We are 20 minutes away. My goodness. It's going to be a wild time, baby. Let me get that out of here. All right. You guys are dropping the bread emojis already. God. Oh man. Uh so if you guys have any other questions that you guys want to ask before we start to transition towards the stream on the 49ers, I'm not gonna simulcast it like I have in the past. Um I'm just gonna hop over into the chat and we'll vibe out. But if you guys have any last couple questions you want to fire off, go for it. Um, but if not, I say it's time to get ready. Maybe get a cup of coffee, maybe get a Red Bull, because it's going to be very interesting to see how this particular uh, live stream is going to go down. Obviously, the main point of emphasis will be Deebo Samuel. So, shout out. Someone said, new room looks dope. Appreciate that. I'm excited. Uh, I haven't noticed any Wi Fi issues yet. I haven't noticed any Wi Fi issues yet. So, I'm very excited about that. Knock on wood. Very excited about that. So, maybe even a mock draft later. Like I said, we're going to come back on the opposite side. We're going to do a reaction to the presser. We're going to talk about what was said and we're going to pick it apart. We're going to pick it apart. We're going to try to see if we get any indication that Deebo is actually going to get traded. We're going to figure that out. So shout out to everyone who hopped on. Appreciate you guys. When you hop into the live stream, drop a bread emoji to represent the SDS. Now again, I do want to make it crystal clear. If we go into this chat on the 49ers page, remember, be respectful. We don't tear down others. If we're showing love to the SDS, we're showing love to the SDS. And we're not being trolls. We're not being abrasive. Nothing like that. Remember, we move differently as a community. So, hey, you want to show love for the SDS? I'm all for it. But we move differently. So we move in the right way. I already see the chat going up. But I appreciate you guys. So I'm gonna shut this down. I'm gonna hop over into the chat, and then like I said, be on the alert for a reaction video. Again, hit that sub, hit the like, hit the bell so you see when I'm about to go live. All that good stuff. What do we got? Gammon says history buffs will like this. Trade Deebo to the Eagles and watch him burn bridges and join the Cowboys like T.O. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Um, I know exactly what that's a TO reference, obviously. You did say it. But yeah, send him just get a haul. That's all I care about. Just get a haul. Just get a haul. He could have a phenomenal career, but as long as we could turn him into multiple people, would love to see it. Would love to see it. All right, I'm gonna hop over. I'm gonna hop over into the chat. And like I said, hit that bell button, hit the sub, hit the like, and we will do a reaction right after this. So we're bouncing from live to live. We're bouncing from live to live. I will see you guys on the other side. I'll see you in the chat. Um, let's have a good stream. Remember, be respectful in there. We ain't trolling, none of that. Just be respectful. Show the community what the SDS community is all about. All right, guys. So I'll see you on the other side. I'll see you in there. Appreciate everyone who hopped in, and we'll be doing the